Hey, everybody. Welcome to tonight's show. So tonight it's just me flying solo. Um, the guest that I had set up had a emergency pop up. So whenever that happens, we roll out the Ask the Host segment. So if anybody's out there watching and has any questions, now would be a good time. So uh, before we start the show, a little something that we do interesting that I don't know if everybody follows along, but uh, we kind of go behind the scenes a little bit with our Instagram. So we're streaming live not only here on our Facebook page, our Facebook group, then I also have it on YouTube. It's on Twitter, and I'm also streaming on my Twitch stream tonight. So it's a little bit of different thing. And then I started doing on Instagram where you get a different view. It's just mostly me, but you also get a lot of the behind the scenes things that you won't be able to see if I was doing this, but those on Instagram can see my show notes. Pretty cool, right? So if you're watching and you can catch it, it's a pretty cool little thing that I've decided to instill. So if anybody's out there watching, we're going to take comments. I'm just going to go ahead and talk about the topic that I planned about talking about anyway. And, it's one that's kind of going along with the current news and everything. But before, thank you for hopping on and watching this evening's show. So, if you're watching live, go ahead and drop down in the comments, hashtag Team Live. If you watch this on the replay, go ahead and hit the hashtag Team Replay, and we'll go back and we will, drop comments in after the show. So, you can follow us on all of our streams. You can follow us on Facebook at the show page, which is at Made from Scratch. You can also follow us along on my page at Gabriel Leal. If you're streaming and you want to watch on Instagram, it is at _Gabriel_Leal on Instagram. On Twitter, it's a little bit different. It's at Gabe's. It's GABE, my word vomit. I know it sounds funny, but I was writer, and that's the handle I chose, and I stuck with it. So you can follow us there, or you can go to our YouTube channel and watch it live there as well. And we're also streaming on Twitch tonight, which is something that I added that, again, I wanted to check out and see. And hopefully pretty soon I'll have a website up and running, and I'll be able to stream live to my website as well. So I can invite people to come to the website, and you can also watch the stream there as well. So we'll have a lot of our areas covered as far as social media and being able to reach out there and put our word out there. So if you're watching on YouTube Live, since we're trying to build an audience, could you do us a favor and hit the like and subscribe button? We really appreciate it. We're trying to grow our viewership there as well. And go ahead and leave a comment in there, and we'll answer it after the broadcast is over. So, or if it's your own YouTube while watching, you can actually comment through the live chat, and it'll actually show up on there as well. So, and then afterwards, we also download the audio and we upload it up onto our podcast site. So you can find us on Anchor. We're also on Spotify, Breaker, Google Podcasts, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, and soon we'll be on Apple Podcasts as well. So we're trying to get the word out there and cover everything else as best as we can. So it's been a work in progress, and again, every day is a learning process for me, which I kind of enjoy doing. A live broadcast. I kind of getting used to doing it a little bit. So it's just working past a lot of the technical part. I know that sometimes I get a bad lag, and I hate that it happens. It's because I don't get good upload over here. So I'm trying to rectify that right now as things go along. So, it's just one of the things of part of growing the show and growing everything else around it. And, it is what it is. I can only do so much to control what's going on, but, I appreciate everybody that does come on and will take the time and do an interview. And they'll help me out time to time, and it's great to know that you have the support out there. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about, and it's real prevalent in the news everywhere, is the coronavirus. And you're probably thinking to yourself, well, what does the coronavirus have to do with art, being a creative soul and everything else? Well, here's the thing. A lot of artists, a lot of writers, a lot of people are being affected by it because they do things like they do book signings, right? So they have to travel. And a lot of people don't just travel around here. They also travel to other countries because their books are out there. And, that's one of the things that you want to go, and you want to go talk to the author. So if you want to go and talk to the author, well, here's the thing: you can't do that because, number one, it is, it's something that you would have to travel overseas if your book's international. If it's local, even now, one of the guys that got locally that they found out, he just traveled to California, so he came in contact with somebody that had it over there, and it's a big deal because then something like South by Southwest, right? That's a big festival down here in Austin, Texas. And the bad thing about that being canceled, a lot of artists depend on going there and doing performances, spreading themselves out there. It's a good networking for some of them, for TV, film, music, all kinds of genres like that. And to have that, be canceled, a lot of work goes into putting those festivals together. So, man, a lot had to be at stake. And I think a lot of it's going on right now with other entertainment fields. So, the National Basketball Association was sent out a letter saying to prepare to watch games or to play games without an audience, which is kind of weird, but you gotta protect what's happening, and most people, they don't want to take the chance. That's a pretty scary thing right now, that everybody doesn't know how it's contracted, where it's contracted from, who's carrying it, who has it, where. So it's a big epidemic over in China, of course, because that's where the disease actually originated. So, for it to have already been only a couple months and it's made its way here into America, and there's been reported deaths and sickness, it's a scary thing. And then, of course, it's all over the news. So, people get scared, people get worried. It's a very scary thing. And for artists, again, they depend on that stuff. That's their that's their livelihood, is for an artist to be able to go down there and showcase their talents. Again, networking. Deals have been born down there. Things happen down there for certain people. So it's a scary subject, especially if you have younger children or older family members, because I think one of the symptoms is, of course, pneumonia. And pneumonia's, gosh, it can really, really, it'll kill you. You don't take care of it, you don't catch it fast enough, and those sort of things. So for most healthy people, it's not so much them worried about, it's not so much them worried about getting the disease. It's being able to get over it and how they're doing it. So they're working tirelessly to try to find a vaccine. I've actually watched a pretty cool documentary, or would you say it was probably a news segment on it? What watched the BBC did. The BBC did, and it was pretty informative. How a lot of things got started over there in China, and how they've tried to deal with it and try to quarantine something like that. And it just, man, it happened at the worst time, because it just happened to coincide with Chinese New Year. So you got a lot of Chinese nationals returning back to their home country to celebrate Chinese New Year with family and friends, and to go back to a city like Wunan, which is where it originated, and it's a pretty big city. It's kind of compare it to like trying to shut down Chicago or something like that. If an epidemic happened here in the United States, so it's not something that can easily just be contained. So, thing is to try to find a source and create a vaccine for it. And again, it's pretty severe. If they're canceling NBA games and they're canceling uh, big sporting events because they don't want to put uh, other people at risk. They don't want to put athletes at risk. So yeah, I get it. It's pretty severe, and you know there's certain things that you can probably do. Uh, one of the precautions they tell you is to wash your hands constantly, which is a good advice anyway. If you're going to the restroom or shaking somebody's hand, so remember, you soap and water, maybe a little hand sanitizer, knock it out. Um, but that's one of the things that uh, that's how it affects us all. It affects, especially like I said, artists, people who depend on those kind of showcases. Um, heck, just going to shows now. If you had a tour across seas, especially if you're like an up and coming artist, and those kind of things are important, right? You go out there, you got to get the exposure, build your fan base, and then they tell you you can't fly. At that point, you're like, whoa, man! That you see the effects it's having on the entertainment industry, and who knows? Hopefully, they'll find a cure pretty soon. From what I understand, they've been able to isolate the strand, so they'll see how it reacts when it's put into other hosts and that kind of thing. But it's going to be about finding a cure and then getting it out, mass producing it enough to get it out there to enough people. So, just real quick, I would, I like to, again, put the word out there. Whenever I'm trying to do a show, is I try to find people that are what I call creative souls. And, I think that's kind of a general term when it speaks to about anybody, because anybody can be a creative soul. And I try to find those kind of people that would come on here and be interesting. And again, it's part of a growing process for me because I'm learning how to conduct interviews. And one of the things I'm having a problem with is shutting up. That's a real big problem. So, again, and one of my guests last night, we had pretty big technical issues. I never experienced anything like that before, but I don't mean to laugh, but I can't take it too seriously. I gotta move past it and move forward and just see, again, what's out here. I've had a lot of people ask me, what's the payoff here? What's the ultimate goal? And excuse me, right now at this point, I don't know. I still don't know. I'm here 11 shows in, and I don't know what the goal's actually going to be. I'm hoping there's something formulates as I go along, but it's not guaranteed. So, man, I would love to have this become something bigger. And not just for like notoriety reasons or stuff, because I think this is a pretty interesting way to get a message across to people. To use this as a forum to, talk about subjects, talk about things that could, essentially change people's lives. And, it's one of the reasons I'm concentrating on a podcast as well talking about mental health. It's a very interesting, very delicate subject. And for me, I I want to throw myself out there and just learn and expand, see what I can create, because then that's part of me being just, again, my creative soul. And not to ignore my writing, because my writing is my passion. It's you know, I don't know what I would do without writing, but there's also other forms and ways to be creative. And that's one of the things that I've wanted to explore for a long time. And when this opportunity come up to start doing like this, it was something that I figured that I could try my hand at and see if I could create create a way to reach out to people, to bring people into the forefront that I think are very interesting, that I've had in contact with, and it's pretty awesome that you get people who'll actually want to come on. And I know it's been a struggle trying to get guests on here, and it's one of the things that I'm working on again. And man, if I find a way to get a more consistent base in here, I'm really trying to get this together very well. I do want to put out a good quality stream, a good quality product, so that way when people come on here, they do see it as a way to expose or to promote their causes, their movements, their writings, their creativity. That's the whole purpose why I wanted to put this together. And sometimes it's kind of frustrating. It is. I'm not going to lie about it. It is frustrating sometimes to put something together and then have it fall through. But that's the whole thing about doing something like this. You have to prepare for those things. You have to build for those things. You got to not just be reactive. You got to be proactive. So if a guest falls through, you have a backup guest. You have some sort of way to have somebody hop on and conduct an interview, and it still flows seamlessly, because it goes back to everybody watching here. I mean, if I want to create a good show and I want to create good content, you see people like Joe Rogan, who does somebody like this. And I don't want to compare myself to him because he's Joe Rogan, but it took him a long time to build that up, to build that format, to build the audience. And of course, he's been an actor, and he hosted a lot of MMA sporting events. But again, his show is like the pinnacle. You want people to be like that, that'll flock to you when you have a show. And sometimes it's just him. It's just him talking. It's not even so much about the guest. So I'm trying to maybe create something along those lines, so that this is a whole new avenue, a whole new forum for me. And I understand there's going to be growing pains. I'm going through them now. Learning to put everything together, learning how to talk into a camera, learning how to, be, how to be receptive to people, how to interview and interact. So there's things that I can do on my part. Maybe take coaching classes, interviewing coaching classes, those sort of things. So if you guys have any suggestions, or anybody that kind of does that kind of thing, man, send them to me, and I would love to go talk and see what I can do. Again, because you want to learn how to do things, you want to learn to do it well. So if you're going to throw yourself into doing something like this, I want to take it on and just see where it takes me. And I don't. People still ask me, I don't know what the purpose is. And I know it sounds bad, but I think it's maybe part of it is just getting on here and creating a show, creating content. And again, if nothing comes of it, hey, it was something that I learned. You have to think about success down the line the same way you have to think about failure. So again, I could fail at this, but it'd be a learning experience, and that's the way I have to look at it. And every night I'm going to put my heart and soul into coming across to everybody, bringing a show that you may want to watch. Who knows? You may not. It's just about being able to express myself here. And, we all have the ability to do something like this. And it takes a lot of courage, believe it or not. Sometimes it's hard to get people to come on here. They don't want to be on camera. Being on camera scares them. Being on live scares them. I don't know why. I mean, maybe because they don't want to look like a fool. I don't know. That's never bothered me. And, I apologize, but that's just who I am. Those things don't kind of fluster me. So, oh, hey, my sister actually joined on Instagram. So, hey, sis, how you doing? Again, you try hard to create something, and again, it's the same reason that I'm writing a book. I'm trying to be creative, trying to share myself, and it doesn't matter if it sells. I don't know if this will sell. I don't know if this will work out for me, but this is my little avenue to creativity, and it's my little avenue to spread whatever message, whatever word I want to send out there. And I hope so many people will start following along at some point, because I think it's a good message. I'm trying to craft it into a good message. I'm trying to create something around it, being what a creative soul is. And again, I'm not always sure about certain things that I do, but those are things that I have to explore inside myself and face them, and essentially work past them, keep going. So, man, it's pretty fun. It's pretty awesome that you get people that come on here and are willing to take the chance to get interviewed, especially by somebody who's learning how to interview. But I appreciate these people. That's why I express as much gratitude as I possibly can, because they're taking the time out of their busy schedules to come on here, and talk to people, and spread their message and whatever that is that they want to promote. And those type of things are really important. So again, the people that I'm bringing on and people that I'm reaching out to, they fall in line. They fall in line of what I believe in when I talk about being a creative soul. So, the hardest thing that I've learned from knowing this is that if I keep accepting the limitations that I put in front of me, I'm not going to get very far. And gosh, I don't know if I can live with that. I definitely want to push myself further. I definitely want to do things that, I know will adjust the camera just a little bit so you can see me more of me. But, that is something that I want to go and just see what it's like to meet interesting people. That's always something that I love doing. It's just going out and talking to people and hearing their stories. And this is a forum for them to do that. And that's why I invite them on, and I tell them, hey, come on, and it's also to have a good time. I try to have a good time with everybody that's on here, because this is a lighthearted conversation. It's not a news show, right? We're not sitting here doing, hey, breaking news. We're here to interview you, and we want to know about this topic. Is it dangerous and deadly, these diseases. But it's fun to see what you can do with this thing. And again, you can go and create, um, different content. There's so much you can do here, and it's pretty incredible. Um, you know, one of the things that I try to tell people is this is a pretty interesting tool that you can do, and I'm going to show you just how pretty cool that you can do. Right. So this is something I don't know if everybody knows you can do yet, but you can actually go onto, say, something like YouTube, right? And you can look at, so one of the guys that I try to model myself after, because he's been pretty cool to me, has been Russ Johns. And if you guys don't follow him, check him out on his website. It's www.russjohns.com. Really cool guy, super cool. He does a sort of similar type of thing. So let me just show you like one of the things you could do, which makes it pretty cool, right? So if you go on here and you go share screen, and let's go to Chrome tab, right? And then share, and then add it to my stream. Check it out. He can stream and see his live right here while I'm streaming live as well. So this is an interesting little tool, right? So I can imagine I'm talking to him. See, check it out. So this is what he does. And dude, and again, and this is him doing a solo kind of thing. So, again, so it's a pretty interesting little tool. So you can do a stream inside a stream. I haven't seen too many people try it. You probably got to have a good, you got to have good streaming quality. I'll tell you that much, because it'll lag. If not, even just doing a broadcast like this, I get lag. I go back and watch some of the replay and I go, oh gosh, this is killing me. But again, it's part of the learning curve. And, one of the things that's coming out of this is that I am learning so much, and I like to be a student. I like to learn things. I like to do different. I like to approach things from different angles and see what you can do, to be creative. So, people might not see this yet, but I bet when I show them that, they'll see it and they'll go, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. So even now, like, it gives me details. So I got 2 people watching on my YouTube page and one from my the Made from Scratch page. So nobody on Twitch yet, nobody on Twitter, and nobody on YouTube. But again, you got to build those stuff up. You got to start from nothing. You just don't go out there and build an empire. Now, one of the things that I do want to try to reach out to is on LinkedIn, because on LinkedIn I have a lot more followers. But again, that's where I spend a lot of my social media time. So, if I ever get the opportunity to stream on there, which I'm trying to get there, it's going to take a little time, but I will. There'll be a lot more people that'll probably hop on and be like, wow, he's doing a live stream. I don't think a lot of people know that yet. But again, I don't post it a lot that I do on LinkedIn, which I probably should. But again, you got people, they're on LinkedIn for a reason. They like the platform. It's a pretty cool platform if you guys haven't been lately. It's Facebook without all the harsh political mixed in. It's, hey, Chris. Cool. Thanks for joining, brother. I love it. He's on Instagram, as a matter of fact. So, again, it's pretty cool to interact like this, right? So I can do this here, and you're seeing me on Instagram, and then I'm also doing the live stream, which is going out to, again, 5 different platforms. And hopefully by the time I get my website, I can put it on my website and start directing traffic there as well. But that's the cool thing about what I do. And this thing here, because once I'm done doing this, I also put it up in the podcast. And like at the beginning of the show, I tell everybody check out my podcast page as well. because I'm streaming on one podcast platform now, but it'll be on two. I'm using two different platforms to put them out there, and it spreads it out a little bit wider. So, again, you can hear the audio, you can see the visual. Only thing that I really can't do is just go out there and touch somebody, hey, touch you. But I'll be covering all aspects of what I call the VAK, which is the visual, audio, and kinetic. And those are pretty important examples when you're talking about sales and stuff like that. You want to be able to connect with people kinetically with, say smell. So you're walking past a bakery and they want to emit those smells so that you get that sense in you. And then you see how good the food looks, right? And you see it, and that's the visual. Then you go in there and then you hear the crunch of bread or the the audio. It just all goes together. And that's one of the things that if you can get all three of those things, you're more likely going to make sale. Disney makes millions of dollars using that process, right? So like they'll go. I was actually watching a video and they were talking about the process they use, right? And they use baked sheets of vanilla to create the smell, to admit it out into the public, so that people get that smell and it hits them kinetically, so there hits one of their senses, their smell, and they go, oh man, and then they walk by and it's happened to be right by the cookie shop. And they go and see they see the visual of it, and they go in there and then they hear the people talking about it and eating the cookie, and it all connects. So there's a whole methodology behind it. So again, it's just going out there and building a brand and building an audience. And that's what essentially I'm trying to do, because again, these are new skills that I'm going to be learning that'll also help me once I become a published author, because I'm going to have to go out there and start putting my book out there if I wanted to reach out to people. And I really would love it to reach out to people, because it's something that I've worked very hard to try to finish and accomplish. And, I never gave up on it, and I don't give up on it. Not when I would like it to reach out to people and maybe inspire somebody to pick up a pen or to sit down at their laptop and start writing a story. Just making a little bit of impact. That's all I really want to do in life, is help somebody out, make their lives better, offer them hope. People have done that for me, and it's been incredible. Again, the support that you get out there, the people that you surround yourself with, they make up a big part of who you become as a person, and the environment that surrounds you that's going to be conducive to you being successful, man. So find those people, find a positive way, retrain your mind. That's something that I tell people you have to really learn if you're going to make it, is to retrain your mind. It sounds just like it says. It's hard to do. So just like you have to reprogram yourself on your eating habits and those sort of things, so is it the same retraining your mind to do things. And again, it can be done. It takes a lot of hard work. One example, I know my family sees me and, hey, check it out. I have a little bit of you can see that there. You can see that nasty looking finger, right? I do have a little bit of nail. I clipped them just recently, but for the last, I want to say 38 years, 39 years, somewhere around there, I've been a nail biter. And that's tough. You sit there driving and it would be something I would do subconsciously without even thinking, just biting my nails. And in the whole time that I think it's been 22 years that me and my wife have been together, she never known me to have nails. So it was kind of a shock to her seeing me with them. And it went back to just taking the time to retrain my brain, man. That's one of the hardest things to try to do. Retraining my brain to do this. I had fear talking in front of a camera. I have a fear of speaking in public, but that's something, and I've mentioned it plenty of times on other shows. As I don't know. Talking to a camera to me is a little bit easier because I'm just talking to an inanimate object. There's no kind of instant judgment or that sort of thing. So when you're talking to somebody in front of a crowd, though, you get to see immediate feedback. You get to see those people's faces. So if you're bombing, man, you're gonna know right away. You're gonna be like, gosh, and you still have to work through it. So, for me, that was always been scary, and that's always something I'm going to challenge myself with this year is to go public speak. Because I would love to be a motivational speaker one day, and that's something that I'm working on as well, to try to get myself used to talking, used to communicating with people, getting my point across, and not seeming super nervous or scared, or letting the fear sit up there and control the way I talk and the way I communicate. That drives me nuts, because then I go back and I watch the video and I go, you're better than this. You had it all up here in your mind. What's going on? What's happening? Something is affecting you. So, again, those are the sort of things that you can, that'll happen, and you just have to face it and work past it. It's a hard thing, but it's also very rewarding. When you finish or you get a goal and you accomplish it and you make the thing that you want to do, you create the thing that you want to do, you share the thing that you want to do, it's so rewarding. And the first time that you do it, right, that's something that will never be taken away from you, no matter what, no matter where you end with the rest of your journey. You made that one accomplishment, and it sticks with you. So, take the risk, man. I tell everybody, just go out there and go find your creativity. Go see what it is that align you. That'll align you in the universe. That'll give you that drive and that purpose. Because we all have the same opportunities. We all get to make choices. We live in a country where we get a free choice every day, right? We get a free choice to make that decision of, hey, tomorrow I'm going to go run and exercise, and I'm going to change my life tomorrow. So as soon as you get up, you can do that. And, hey, yeah, Carrie, I again, there's a reason, you talk about public speaking, and same sort of deal here with me. I have a fear about it. I get scared, thinking about it, but that's the only way I'm going to work past that fear, is just getting here. And yeah, you sweat a lot. You get nervous. I get it. Again, it's a fear, right? It's just the fear factor, just getting up there and doing it. So, if you can face your fears, I tell everybody, do it, man. It's one of the best things that you can possibly do for yourself, right? Because I tell everybody, do it, man. Do the thing that you want to do. Challenges and making those kind of things about yourself. I don't know. Oh, hey, cuz. Hey, what's going on, man? He's joined me on Instagram. You can also follow me, guys, on Instagram. You can follow me on my YouTube live page. That would be awesome. Go there and click and subscribe. Yes, I'm self-promoting, but again, that's what my forum's here for. If I can't use it to do that, then what can I use it for? So yeah, guys, go check it out. Go to my YouTube page. Go watch past episodes. See wonderful guests that I've had on already. I've had Opalina Salas on, Samantha Glover. I've had Wendy Gahulia. I've had Catalina Madrano, Eric Pruitt. My guest last night was Timothy Miner Jr. And man, I hope he gets to see this. I apologize for last night, Timothy. That was not a representation of what I like to do on the show. But again, it's part of the technical side that you're trying to create. So it's tough, but you gotta just keep moving forward, right? I was kind of upset about it last night after what happened. I had a meltdown, not like a major meltdown, but I was like, man, what am I doing? What is going on here? Should I even continue doing this? Right? I even questioned myself to that point, but I got up and I said, you know what? I have to do it. Yeah, there he goes, Eric Pruitt, right? I messed his name up. I'm sorry, Eric. Getting those people to come on here in the first place, I was so thankful for it. And the people that I have coming up, again, I'm reaching out to a lot of people. Guys, if you want to help me out and you know people like that, send them my way. I would love to interview them, have them come on. If any of you are brave souls and would love to come on here, check it out. The forum's here, right? I'm not giving up. I'm not going to give up, Carrie. That was just a momentary thing. It was my first setback, so you're going to have that. But it's, you gotta keep getting up every day. I equate this, and I was telling this Eric, it's kind of like being a quarterback, right? So if you follow sports any at all, if a quarterback has a bad game, he cause the team to lose, and you just go crap. You have to sit there and they're probably thinking, man, what am I going to do? And then they have to go face the whole thing again the next week. And that's when they find redemption and they go out there and they have a good game and that sort of thing. So same here, man. You got to get up and you got to let it roll off your back. Get up and get everything together again. And, I don't, that's fine. But I appreciate the support. I really do. God, you guys, again, this kind of what makes it worthwhile. It's just getting a few people. That's right. My brother-in-law, Keel, on Instagram actually said, consistency is the key. Yeah, it is key. Keep it up. Even if I don't have guests, right, I still come on here and do this. That's why I've been doing this right here, is even though I don't have a guest on, I can still go on here and talk and use this forum to talk about whatever I want to talk about. That's the beauty of it. It's an amazing tool. And if I don't take advantage of it, man, and I know that it's there, then I'm giving up. And I don't want to give up. That's not the theme of what I'm trying to accomplish this year. My theme this year has been to challenge myself, and that's going to be that. And I'm going to have a shirt that's made that says challenge myself. It's going to be hashtag my challenge. That's what it's going to be on the back. So I want to get shirts made so I can have on and wear, sport my brand, create my brand, and go out there and just share it, right? So it is something that, like I said, I had no purpose when I started this, but it's starting to formulate a little bit more and more. And hey, awesome. Hey, thank you for joining. But again, you can do things like this, right? So I'm live on Instagram. Instagram, even though I'm on camera here, the people on Instagram can see what I'm doing here, what's going on. They get to see behind the scenes. Right? It's glitchy on Facebook. It's because I don't get a good upstream. It kind of sucks. But I'm working on that. It's because I have one stream using in my house to upload. I don't get good upload speeds already, and then on top of that, I also have my family using the stream to watch TV. Kids are watching videos and that sort of thing. So it kind of makes it a little bit tough. So I'm looking at options to make that better. If I had fiber optic in my area, believe me, I would already be signing up for it now. Simply because it is, again, if I had a better stream, it'd come across. And that's one of the things that everybody's telling me, you got a lag on there. I know I'm trying to address it, man. I've actually got a Cat 6 cable, but I think I'm putting a lot of stress on the bandwidth here. So, uh, yeah, it's tough, but these are the growing pains. I'll get it down. Um, you know, I'll figure it out. I'm a pretty smart boy. Just getting everything together. Yeah, an extender might work, but again, I'm using the same Wi-Fi signal, right? So I'm actually getting a faster upload speed on using a direct line into the back of my modem. But again, I might have to get a different modem that will allow me to stream faster. They use some for gaming, because gaming, you're doing the same thing. So if you're playing Call of Duty and you're lined up on, playing the game and you got a lag, then you're probably going to end up getting killed because you're slower than everybody else. And that's what sucks. So you kind of want to get away from that. The same sort of thing here is I'm getting a lot of lag. So when I talk, you hear do that, or it kind of drags, which, again, that's part of doing a live stream, learning, right? So I'm even thinking about getting a separate line, so that the only thing that I'm streaming on there is just my broadcast. So all the upload speed is just for me. And game streaming will, again, that's what I'm looking at, is those capabilities to get my game streaming faster, to get the stream going faster. So I got a different processor now that I use for running through it. I'm also looking at getting an interface, so to kind of make it a little bit faster. There's a lot of things you can go out there, and I've been doing a lot of research on it. But again, this is what I have to use for now. So I'm trying to get it out there best way that I can. And, as I build an audience, that's what's going to be the one thing that's either going to make me or break me, is just having those kind of capabilities. So I'm doing a lot of investigative work into building that up. But, it's been a whole thing, because again, that's why I named the show Starting from Scratch, because I am starting from scratch. I literally started with nothing except for a laptop and my camera that was attached to the laptop. So I've kind of upgraded my equipment little by little, but it's getting there. You guys can see I got a better mic. This is a nicer quality mic, and it's a Blue Yeti, so it's a really good quality mic. And once I get it set up a little bit rigged and better, it'll come across. It's just going to take time. But again, you guys, if you guys know anybody that would like to come on the show tomorrow, I actually have another opening. Because I had planned to do a once a week thing where you kind of talk to the guests, you talk to the host, so you can interact with them. And this is what I've loved about this app, is you can interact with the crowd instantly. So, and the only thing that you can't do is link in bio. It will, yeah, cool. I'll definitely check that out. I was looking on Instagram. But so that's something I'm going to check out. And again, putting all this together, this is like essentially only my second week. So growing pains is all I can tell. And I can see there's a lag going on right now. See, I move ahead. The camera's a little bit slow, but it's coming. It's going to get better, folks. I've made a few leaps and bounds from my first few episodes. I went back and watched, and I go, oh no. But I was nervous, though. I was really nervous. And that's kind of one thing you got to work past, is getting past the nervousness. And even when I start now on the stream, I do still get a little bit of jittery bug, sort of thing. But once I start talking and get into the flow of the conversation, it'll go on. So, so just real quick, everybody, before I hop off here, I really want to give a shout out to everybody that's been joining me consistently. Thank you, Carrie. You're one of my better fans. And then, of course, people that join me on Instagram, thanks again. So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and end the show. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. And again, it'll be live, me just talking. And we'll see where it goes from there. Or maybe I'll get a guest before then and we'll see what happens there. So Instagram's about to kick me off because I think you can only go an hour. And I've been on there an hour. And I've been on here 51 minutes on the live stream. So again, thank you guys for hopping on. And I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, Instagram. And thank you, everybody that's been watching on the live stream. I really do appreciate you hopping on. And, again, it's been a pleasure, gratitude to everybody that's coming along and wants to join. So I'll see you guys tomorrow night. I'll be back here again and it'll be probably more of me. And then tomorrow night, I'll talk about the guests that I have on coming out for the next few days. So yeah, this is, I have a few guests set up for Thursday and Friday. So I'll go ahead and talk about them tomorrow night and just see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for hopping on. Yeah, have a great evening.